Well, greetings everyone and everybody. Well, I would like to review a book that I finished, named Intrepid Aviators by Gregory G. Fletcher. And you can pause if you like. If you can read the back, okay. Okay, this book is about, as stated there, the true story of the USS Intrepid Squadron Torpedo 18 and its epic clash with the battleship Musashi, which is one of the Japanese versions of the Bismarck. Bismarck, also a super battleship that was sunken, of course, in late May of 1941, but that was in the Atlantic. But let's see what Intrepid Aviators is about. I say this is a good book, especially if you like this stuff, naval aviation, or if you're an aviation lover or something like that. This is a good book to read about, especially if you're interested in the sea as well, as in the water. Because what's important about the story is these people here had clashed with two Yamato-class battleships in the Philippine Sea, and by the way, I am part Filipino. And this is important to me because if they didn't do this, then of course the Philippines probably would have become Japanese sovereignty. And of course that would not be good. And my mother probably would not have given birth to me if it wasn't for this. So in this book, the people were oftentimes called Sunday punchers due to the fact that Pearl Harbor was attacked on a Sunday. That's one of the many reasons why. And of course, on the USS Intrepid, other people were named carrier clowns because they acted like clowns on board the carrier. And of course, it didn't exist at that time just yet. Or if you like it, they acted like Pennywises towards the enemy. You probably know Pennywise as it. Pennywise the dancing clown, Pennywise the clown, or something like that. And of course, the torpedo guys were called torpeckers. And one of my guesses why they call them torpeckers is due to the fact that, like a woodpecker, these guys launched torpedoes in the ships that they were targeting, therefore calling them torpeckers. And what I find interesting as well in this book is not only those names, but also these guys here, known as Sunday punchers, carrier clowns, torpeckers. I find those pretty interesting names because in the military, or in whatever the military setting is, they have nicknames for just about anything and everything that's put in their path. And of course, a life raft is referred to as a Mae West. Why a life raft is referred to as a Mae West is because people said that Mae West, the actress, she had big chests, and they claimed that Mae West could float. Now, of course, I've been on the USS Intrepid before, in real life. CV-11, where is it? New York City. Not far from the Chinese embassy. Or at least I think. I don't know what's there now. But the USS Intrepid had seen action throughout the Second World War, some of the Cold War, including Vietnam. Including, yes, Vietnam, that is, conflict. So, how I know? I saw the ribbons on the flag bridge. And so the USS Intrepid acts as a museum. And how I know is because I've been there since I was 11, and of course 22. Now when I was 11, during a family vacation, good thing this thing caught my eye, because if it didn't, then how else would I know that the Philippines was saved? And of course, I went in there, and most of the USS Intrepid is now commercial infrastructure, like where some of the crews like down below, got to eat and of course had to eat. They're now snack bars. And of course, some of the quarters have been sealed off by plexiglass, and of course, if you wanted a snack or a slice of pizza or whatever, you can't go in there to eat it. I mean, if you want it on the USS Intrepid, yes, you can and you may have it. All you have to do is order it, wait for it, pay for it, and enjoy it somewhere. But don't waste chow, though. I mean, find a place on the carrier to where you could eat, just like others. And the reason why I say this is because when I was on the ship, I smelt something good. Now, as we go up into the USS Intrepid even more, we find that the hangar deck has numerous other airplanes instead of just SB-2C Helldivers, Grumman Avengers like this. There's like Curtiss Helldivers, Grumman Avengers, and of course Grumman Hellcats and Wildcats. But there's an airplane from any and every era in there. And there's even the space shuttle, at least for right now, on the USS Intrepid. How I know? I went in the exhibit. Now, the USS Intrepid was struck by kamikaze airplanes. You probably pronounce it as kamikaze. I mean, this is real yet true. This was in mid-October 1944, the day the USS St. Louis was struck by a kamikaze, and unfortunately she sank. Now, the USS Intrepid was just heavily damaged. Now, the elevators that bring the planes to the flight deck, that was hit by kamikazes, and a number of people died. And then from there, this ship was able to, of course, go back to America, but with help, to get repaired. And then from there, as the years progressed, she would see action in the later conflicts of the Cold War, until eventually meeting retirement sometime later. Now, of course, William Fletcher, after he clashed with the Musashi, he had crashed, and of course, he had to go to some islands, and especially the island of Mindoro and Panay, because he, of course, went down because the limits were exceeded in a hurry due to the clash between the Yamato-class battleships, which were Yamato and Musashi. And then from there, Gregory Fletcher, or Will Fletcher, mind you, had to, of course, deal with exhaustion and, of course, hunger, because he had to keep inflating his raft and swimming, not to mention his worry and fear of sharks. Then he found an island. He only stayed there for one night and then had to go to another island where he was greeted by Philippine Guerrilla. And eventually, the people who helped, of course, William Fletcher and the other people in the village would, of course, be tortured and eventually executed by the Japanese that took the island. But then Philippine Guerrilla took William Fletcher to Panay, and then from there, Will Fletcher went to Australia and back to America. So overall, this is a very good book. I managed to finish this book in, of course, the course of over a month. And how? This book whistled to me at Savers, so I decided to pick it up, purchase it, and read it due to the fact that I was on this ship here, the Intrepid, and I'm all like, I'll read it in honor of being on this thing as a museum visitor. And then from there, I finished this book right at the stroke of midnight on my 25th birthday, which happened on 4 May 2019. And in this video, I've been 25 now for 5 days. Well, I'll see you around.